Hello everyone, Firestarter here once again, bringing you yet another replay cast because I was lazy and I didn't feel like playing, so yeah. Today I have a replay that was submitted to me by Kolibri. It's a 3v3 on Paddy field, but I'm not gonna complain about maps, I promised myself that, so yeah. I went ahead and took a look at this game and it seemed like a really fun battle, so I decided, why not cast it? And yeah, so without further ado, I'm not really gonna read the names of every player because I'm assuming that you've passed first grade and you can read. If not, then you probably can't use the internet. But yeah, enough shit talking. So we do have what looks like a Scandinavian deck, I'm assuming, here, being played by Aaron. A Eurocore deck, it looks like to me, being played by blue whatever, and looks like yet another. So we have dual Eurocore and a Scandi deck on the blue side, and on the red side I think it's 2 USSR and 1 Eastern Bloc if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, let's just speed through the deployment phase because it does take a while in team games usually. There we go. Right. So right off the bat we do have 2 ASFs being rallied out, which is pretty smart because usually people would napalm or smirch this. This is a very contested area. But we do have an ASF being pulled out by blue 4, managing to score a kill, but not enough. Now this is kind of interesting. They unloaded Dorniers with Stinger squads in front of India in the anticipation of a healer rush actually happening, which it did, but the Stingers didn't really do much, but they did enough, I guess. So yeah, we do have this initial engagement here. We'll go to the red side. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna slow down a bit here because the first minutes are usually the most exciting. Try to fit everything, and that's just kind of getting in my way, but whatever, I'll just leave it be. So yeah, blue 4 kind of anticipating that, not really moving their units from this bridge, instead going around the side, and you can see that their main assault is going to be an echo, which is a common strategy on this map, but you don't really see it that often. The thing you see the most is usually just going for these 2-point zones, which can pay off, but it's incredibly risky. I'm sorry, I just keep starting all the time. Okay, so Leo 2 does go down at the expense of a MiG. Syria as well. Wow, so that was not cost effective whatsoever, unless they can score that second kill. They do not, so that's kind of lucky. Meanwhile, in the middle, there's some hot action happening. You can see the superiority of Blue Force units is just overwhelming at this point. So they will just push through completely, because there's not a lot of things here to stop them. And you can see that they're not even investing in taking India back, which is smart. I mean, if you can forfeit the zone in exchange for the rest of the map, especially considering that Red 4 has decided to give up Hotel. I think I mentioned this already, but I don't agree with this. You should always go for Hotel. It's a decisive zone. I mean, it's so super crucial, especially like late game once the lines become a bit static, But yeah, enough me shit talking, I guess. Let's just focus on the action. Looks like the majority of Red 4's units here have been wiped out, but Red 4 is making a push here on the 2-point zone, so we can kind of switch perspective. We do have smoke cover coupled with infantry, but nah, that helo made short work of them. So that was a bit unfortunate on blue side. But this is definitely a nice way to attack, although they do lack the proper fire support, if I may be honest. Automatic does go down, so that's the only AA in the area. This should be really easy to mop up. And it's not like these Jaegers are really gonna do much though, let's be honest. So that bomber going down, very solid use of ASFs on Red 4 side, gotta admit. And I guess we could speed up now, considering most of the initial action has slowed down a bit. So yeah, these troops here will be wiped out, so we can switch over to the middle. As you can see, blue has complete superiority here. Even managed to cross with a IKV. Oh, that's just cute. So yeah, red 4, I guess, deciding to solidify their position instead of counter-attacking Delta and Echo and whatever. And they do have some nice positioning up there with those Wilks being able to catch out all the reinforcements. Do they actually get the CV? I think they do. Come on. Ah, now I'm disappointed. Okay, never mind. But here's something that I caught out when I was watching this replay the first time, which was really good. Instead of just camping out, blue decides to just cut off Bravo from the side, come up on this little hillside on this forest line, which is a really smart move when you're confronted with this situation. Do have that MiG-27 going down, so really nice snipes coming out of blue 4. If they can manage to kill all of those ATGM jets, they can be a lot more liberal with their heavy tanks. But you do have to note that blue 4 decided to not go for a CV heavy start, so they are kind of paying for that. They're 260 points down the drain, and they're at a +2 tick, which is, yeah, you don't want to be in that position when you're confronted with this. But if they can manage to get CVs for every zone, I think they should be fine. If they can maintain Delta, I mean, this should be their game, but we'll see how things develop. Meanwhile, there's more action here, so we can shift perspective. Fallschirmjägers and Panzergrenadiers managed to take back the upper hill, scoring some tank kills there, which is always nice, and they should make short work of these troops here, provided they're supported. Meanwhile, there's still a probing assault here, trying to take Boris. We'll see how that works for blue 4. But yeah, quite a fun battle so far, because most of the time you usually just see a static defensive line in the middle and shit going on the 2-point sector, but blue 4 anticipating that perfectly, saying, you know what, fuck this shit, we're going straight for the middle, taking the rest of the map. And this is just textbook in my opinion. I really love their style. So in the meantime, I guess blue 4 deciding not to be as aggressive in that assault here, you know, rallying out some supplies, repairing their units and stuff, which is always smart. You don't want to attack with like 20% of your firepower, that's just waste. So yeah, that's definitely a smart choice from them. And if they can maintain this position, taking India is going to be a lot easier, because red 4 is going to have to pour defensive troops to prevent the cutoff. And as you can see, blue 4 has already managed to take back a portion of India, which is enough for a CV. And if they can get it there, and if they can get CVs in Hotel and Echo, they should be at a solid, is that +3? I think that's a +3. Should be good. So yeah, let's just switch perspective for a bit. This lone T-72B is not gonna last long with Kustjägers there. The Swedish Terminators. They're so OP, it's incredible. But they're Swedish, so of course they're OP. Meanwhile, we have some bombing runs coupled with seed cover. Trying to snipe out a CV. I don't know, I just feel like that napalm would have been maybe better off used on these Spetsnaz here, or maybe this massive defensive line here, and then just couple it up with the infantry. I mean, I'm assuming that at this point you know how critical I am of just CV sniping with planes. It's just not smart usage of your planes, if I may be honest. I mean, yeah, I know, I should just stop talking shit and let people play the way they want to play. So we do have yet another smoke barrage being laid out. You do know that smoking kills, so this is this should be good, considering they have like 1,000,000 Fuchs here, which I'm assuming they're filled with Jaegers. Jaegers are pretty good at storming position, and considering there's only Motostrelkis and Gornos here, and a pretty badly beaten LSTR, I mean, they should win just by sheer numbers, I guess. So yeah, we do have an attack coming here again. Some Fallschirmjägers pushing back these Spetsnaz. You can see that Red 4 has managed to set up a nice defensive position here for now. Blue 4 taking back India slowly but surely. They have managed to plop down a CV as well, so that should be a good enough tick for them. They're now at a +2. And they should take advantage of Hotel ASAP though. As I said, if you have a free zone, why not? Just gets you closer and faster to victory. So yeah, these Jaegers are actually getting caught off here. I mean, this is going back to what I previously said. The lack of fire support is really hurting Blue Force's attempt at taking back this town. You really want at least some cheap tanks or something to shoot back at exposed infantry. I mean, they do have some fire support on this flank, but they can't really get a line of sight on this Motorschützens and Motorstrelkis here that are just messing these Jaegers up. But I do love their efforts in trying to harass Bravo from the side. It's just a really smart play. I mean, granted, Red 4 is pouring reinforcements there now, but, you know, they're not pouring reinforcements into India, and with Blue having the rest of the map, you know, this is just... it's perfectly executed. I really love what they're doing. I can switch here because the action kind of halted there for now. We do have more infantry being rallied out, but these Gornos are just doing a nice job of intercepting those. Doesn't matter though, Panzer Grenadiers are gonna walk. They have no problems with that. So yeah, Blue 4 rallying out a bit more CVs. I'm assuming this is going to Delta. I don't actually remember because I watched the replay like 10 times, so you can't really see everything. Oh, that PU almost went down. That would have been a massive kill for Blue 4 there. We have two Buratinos, not one but two. That's how you know they mean business. So it looks like they're preparing to fire, which I'm assuming they're gonna go down on the attack markers. Just zoom in a bit. Yeah, they are. So that should make short work of the attempt by Blue 4 to assault this zone. Now you can see there's a lot of infantry. There's some nice fire support being scattered around, and especially the Buratinos being used in a defensive role. That should be really hard now to assault. But that attack did its job, man. Like, they got what they needed from that. Caused enough of a distraction here, forced Red 4 to invest a lot of money, and you can see that they invested a lot. And in the meantime, Blue 4 just took back India. So yeah, that definitely paid off. They're now at a +5. If they can maintain this advantage, they should be good. But with the amount of Red 4 troops here and these Buratinos just pummeling away, I mean, looks like they might have a hard time holding on to Echo. We have these Vasileks laying down suppressor fire as well. So all this infantry should get pretty stunned and easy to wipe out. Yeah, so looks like the India flank has been completely demolished. I mean, there's not really much defending this, especially the top of Bravo. There's only 2 Strelos, wow. So I guess Red 4 has kind of noticed that their attempts there were kind of futile and deciding to go for Echo, which is the smart choice at this point, considering they really weakened Blue 4's assault there. So a counterattack is going to be very easy to pull off, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. So both sides making some really smart strategic choices, which is why I decided to cast this game. You don't often see this style of play on this map. I mean, you do, but it's not as prominent as the usual 2-point push, which gets so boring after, you know, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna stop complaining about maps. I already said that. So blue 4 at a +5 with 70% of the victory points needed to win. But for how long, considering red 4 managing to take delta, and just by looking at force concentrations, I'd say that they're managing to take back Echo as well. So if they can take Echo and continue on a path of destruction all the way to Lima, they can even take Mike, considering there's really nothing substantial defending that. But look at the amount of tanks and infantry by red 4. This is just a huge ball of destruction rolling forward. If they play their cards right, they can definitely come back in this. It's a really nice back and forth though. And we do have another bombing run, escorted by Seed. That's how you want to do your bombing runs usually. I don't know if it took anything out. I was looking at the planes. I'm assuming you guys noticed what was happening there. I'm sorry, I'm horrible at casting, but yeah, it's fun. Okay, yeah, so I was gonna say that red 4's lack of A was eventually gonna hurt them, and we do have Kolibri rallying out a Tiger, so taking out those T-72s, and then they just run into a wall of Kustjägers, so that assault is not gonna end well for red 4. If they had maybe a bit more AA here, they could have definitely stormed Lima, and I don't know why they decided to have the T-72s at the front. They definitely should have sent in their infantry instead. But it's okay, I guess. I mean, they have control of Echo, and this is what I was talking about. Now the lines have been drawn, and they're not really gonna move much at this point, but you can see Hotel is in firm control of blue 4 because red 4 decided to abandon it. So now red 4 needs to do something fast because they're, blue 4 is ticking at a +1, and they do have a lot of points in the bank, which is not good for red 4's chances of winning. I mean, I definitely think they should have just kept on pushing all the way to Mike, especially with that initial momentum they had, because they destroyed like 90% of blue 4's forces there, and they didn't really have preemptive defenses in Lima and Mike. Meanwhile, red 4 had this massive army that was just stomping through. But yeah, their lack of AA kind of forced them back. As soon as that Tiger popped out, took out those T-72s, I guess they were a bit reluctant in pushing again. Which is a shame, because I think it kind of cost them the game. I mean, they definitely should have attacked Hotel, but I already mentioned that. We do have more attempts at blue 4 trying to take back Echo, but at this point they can just camp, to be honest. If they just maintain Hotel, they should be good. I mean, granted, putting pressure on your opponent is always good, but at this point it's not necessary for a victory. We do have a CV going down in Lima, however. I don't know what sniped that. Let me see. It's just on us. Okay. So that went down, but it's not like it matters since blue 4 has a CV in reserve, going to take back that zone almost immediately. And red 4 is not really gaining anything from that other than stopping the bleed. We do have a CV going down in Echo from those live gardens, but red 4 did have... Oh wow, both of them went down. Well, that's funny. So yeah, now blue 4 at a solid +2 once again with 8 minutes on the clock. Red 4 is looking incredibly shaky. They did move their Delta CV that was here to Echo, but they're still gonna be at a -1. Yeah, and meantime we do have a last ditch attack by blue 4 into Bravo. Once again putting pressure on the zone, forcing red 4 to rally out more troops there, which means they're not rallying out troops for Hotel. Seriously guys, go for Hotel. If I cast one more game on this map and I see somebody abandoning Hotel, I swear to God, I don't know. I'm gonna go to your house and... yeah, I don't know what to say. And wow, CV in India went down, so in my stupid blabbing I kinda missed that, I guess. So red 4 being at a nice +1. But as I said, too little too late at this point. I mean, if you're just gonna CV snipe and not follow up with some sort of an attack, it's really futile. And we do have more CV snipes coming out of Red 4, so that means they're really desperate to get them. But you know, their momentum went down, and now Blue 4 is just exploiting that with these leopards and these Panzer Grenadiers just pumping through. And you can see that Red 4 is not really buying any troops to defend this, but it looks like we do have a last ditch assault on Echo. See, if they did this like 20 minutes earlier, I think they would have had this game, or at least had chances to win this game. We do have a push in the middle as well from some Kunstjägers and some Leopards, but the Buratino is just stopping that dead in its tracks. You see most of the infantry are down to one man, and these Leopards can just get picked off by the Conqueresses, so that assault is kind of pointless. I mean, they did a nice job pushing in Bravo, but they didn't really need to. They already had this game. I mean, they're hanging on to Hotel even with this little incursion here. So that's good. Let's just switch back here, see how this last minute attack is gonna fare for Blue 4. But it looks like it's over. And yeah, you can see the kills are actually really even. Well, except for Mr. Alexander, but it's okay, we forgive you. So yeah, I mean, that was a fun game because it was really back and forth. Both sides decided to do some not so ordinary things, so to say, and both sides did some really nice strategic decisions, which I liked. So yeah, thank you for submitting this replay, Kolibri. It was a really fun game to cast, and I hope you guys like it as well. So I'll see you next time. Bye bye.